And we have just been joined, on that note, we've just been joined by Mr. Brent Black.
Hey, everybody, how you doing?
Hello.
That is a wonderful voice.
Hey, Brent.
That is a great voice.
Yes.
Can you sing your own intro for us, Brent?
You'll have to come to the show we're about to talk about. I'll sing through one of the best voices I know, which is Shy, who's also on the call. He'll be singing some words, and that's how you'll get it.
Fantastic.
I must ask, can you see me? Because I cannot see me.
We cannot see you.
I can see a purple void that says "use your words" and presumably not use your face.
Gotcha. Okay. I will. Is that going to work for now? I'm
Absolutely
concerned
fine.
that
Whichever works for you.
Okay, great. Wonderful. I will quietly scramble while pretending to be super chill. Wait a minute. Hey, there we go.
We got it.
There we go. For everybody sort of taking bets on what I must look like based on my voice. Now you know. Hello, everyone.
Hello, and welcome to the show. And thank you very much for coming and supporting our charity. I'm very grateful you could come and make it. And last notice, you were quite in last minute. I think Shai said, "Oh, do you want Brent on?" I was like, "Yes, yes, we do."
Happy to do it. Happy to do it. Love Trekkies. Love supporting good causes. I'm happy to be here.
No, absolutely fantastic.
I'm glad that you got the memo about wearing black. So that's
yes. Well, you know, just I guess that's the new Starfleet uniform.
Are we in morning?
The new.
Did I miss something?
Yep.
Oh, that means we need to change in 5 minutes. Yeah.
Uniforms.
No, brilliant. Oh, thank you very much for coming. And I just wonder if you just want to tell us a little bit, for those that don't know, about Khan the musical and your involvement in it.
Sure. So in 2015, I went to a strange dance show in Brooklyn, and there was a little dance number with two spacemen who I just thought, they look kind of like Chekhov and Captain Terrell from The Wrath of Khan.
Oh, sorry to
And
interrupt.
so I just kept.
Sorry to interrupt. Shy wins the plushie and the giveaway of the game. Sorry to interrupt.
Come on.
Well done. Right, sorry. Please continue.
No worries. So yeah, I saw these two spacemen in spacesuits and thought they really looked like Chekhov and Terrell from The Wrath of Khan. And I won't lie, the show was not really holding my attention very well, the dance show. So I just kept thinking about how one would do a Wrath of Khan musical and how deliciously terrible of an idea that would be.
Thank you, Crabstar, for following.
So yeah, I just kept thinking about how great of a bad idea it was. And then my friend Alina Morgan, originally I was going to have Q be the narrator of sort of a musicalization of The Wrath of Khan. And my friend Alina Morgan, who wrote for, she's written for Looper and Sci-Fi Wire and all kinds of outlets like that. She was like, what if you have Data make a holodeck program that is a musical? And he's trying to figure out theater, he's trying to figure out how to do this. And I was like, I think that's it. So that was 2015. We've had a number of readings, and now we're finally about to hit the off-Broadway stage, almost 8 years later.
That's absolutely fantastic.
I don't want to go too long before we plug them. This is Khan the Musical. You can find it on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Khan the Musical. KhanTheMusical.com. Tickets start only $25, and it starts May 4th, runs through June 4th, and that's going to be at the Players Theater in New York City. So if you guys are there or know someone who's there, let them know.
Well, thank you so much for that. I love to not have to say all that stuff.
You've got it down to a science, though, right? It rolls off the tongue at this point.
At this point, absolutely, yeah.
No, it's absolutely fantastic.
That was news to me. I wasn't aware we had KhanTheMusical.com. I thought we were just KhanIsComing.com.
Well, when the producers buy KhanIsComing.com, they want to use that, but I forwarded KhanTheMusical.com to it, and to me, I'm just like, let's not have them remember anything additional. But they both work. It's great. Khan Is Coming works. KhanTheMusical.com
And no
works.
mention Khan Is Coming has Anyway.
Well, and that's the late night version of the show that we haven't quite published yet. But
off Broadway.
Yeah,
Steve,
that's right.
The issue is 2 years ago we did a charity for children, and so we couldn't do any of those jokes. And now these boys have been saving it up. They really want to unleash that. I have a question for you, Brent, to start things off. I was scrolling through all the cast photos on Con is Coming and or conthemusical.com.
Yes.
I saw several handsome people, handsome men, handsome women. And then I see this sort of sinister-looking bearded fellow who some of us have seen pull off a sublimely dastardly Con Noonien sing, but it is in fact Shyaporn in the role of Kirk. So what is it about Shy that you saw and thought, this guy is James T. Kirk?
Well, so, I place a high premium when it comes to this role on someone understanding Shatner's cadence. Because just because somebody's a lookalike or just because somebody has the exact right hair or whatever, a lot of people, no shade to anyone who auditioned, but people would come in and they would be like, I'm going to interpret the role in this way. This is my Captain Kirk. It was like, yeah, but the way it's written, really supposed to feel like something of the original actor. And Shy just had this Kirkness. And, I was kind of like, okay, he did the first part. Let's see if he can keep this going. And then the thing that I was telling Shy, I was telling you this last night, the thing that really kind of clinched it, there we go, is that he asked if he could use a music stand. And we were like, sure. And he turned it so he could lean on it, the way Kirk leans on things while he was doing the dialogue. And I was like, this guy knows it, man. This guy knows it. So yeah, it was just not only being able to speak like Shatner, but sing like him. And the thing about this show is like, Shatner doesn't really sing. So you have to have a way to be able to do that Rocket Man thing he does, but also sing as if Kirk could sing. And Shy just nailed it, and he could hit a solid F sharp, and now find out he can hit a solid A flat, and so I was, to put a bow on this story, he was the first of 8 callbacks we had over the course of a weekend, and we just all looked at each other like, well, that's the bar. We'll see if anybody gets over it, and no shade to anybody else, but nobody really surpassed that bar. So we had our Kirk.
I've never seen Shy blush as much.
I know.
Before. You look so cute with the shaved face there.
That's why I have the beard normally, to cover up all this nonsense. But, we were talking about Brent's musical genius earlier, and he's written Shatner's cadence into a lot of the musical phrases in this musical. It's really been fascinating to work through the score. It's an honor and a privilege.
Well, thank you. I will say it's kind of a pain to learn. Especially if people, Shy, I think that you understand it from when you make it your own, you're still being Shatner. Other people that have had to do the role, I don't know how much your audience or even you guys are familiar with sheet music and notation, but it could just be like songs coming out and it's quarters and it's eighths. And you say, oh, go ahead and interpret that for yourself, actor. But to me, it's like, I really wanted to get it exact, and you better believe that William Shatner, in the form of musical notation, is a lot of ties over measures and dotted eighths and a triplet that takes up half the measure, triplet that takes up a quarter of the measure. And it's weird, and I've asked multiple music directors, I'm like, should I just make it a little simpler and have Kirk actors sort of interpret it? They're like, no. Do it the way it is because it feels accurate to the character. So there you go. But Shy's gotten it down in record time. Already had the songs mostly down at the first music rehearsal, so we're lucky to have him.
Well, this was sort of a role that I've been studying for my entire life, as it were.
The role of a lifetime.
We've done some table reads before, and anyone can do the Shatner staccato, but there were a couple quiet moments in there. Exactly. There are a couple quiet moments where Shy did the cadence perfectly, and I told him afterwards, I'm like, of all the stuff we've done, that is the most impressive, because the quiet little stuff.
It was the scene where he's dressing down the officers after the Trouble Tribbles, right. when he's going down the line, and we were all taken apart, and he was Kirk, and we all just were stunned at the end of that. I was like, oh my god, that's amazing.
I love Quiet Shatner. Quiet Shatner's really super underrated.
Yes.
I don't know, sir. Yeah,
Well, and everybody always, when they're doing the impression, it's easy to forget that the pause is what people think. but usually it's a pretty short pause followed by the fastest end of a sentence you've ever heard. He'll be talking, and then he's and like it just it flies to the end. And when people do the thing over and over, like it gets old, and he's not really like that, you know. Like one of my favorite Kirk lines is in Star Trek 3 where, you know, he's defying, spoiler alert, he's defying Starfleet's prohibition to go to Genesis, and Sulu goes, "The word, sir," and he says, "The word is no. I am never going anyway." And like he just really spits out "I am therefore going anyway" so fast you almost can't understand it, but like that's as Shatner as the pausing and the guh is.
Brent, by the way, doesn't. I was gonna say Brent does an excellent Shatner. Like he played Shatner. He played Kirk in the Philadelphia Fringe Festival reading of this show, and his Shatner's actually excellent, and he does it on a lot of the demo reels of the show.
It got us here, but the thing that I needed, and this is really the truth, like I took a video of that show because I still thought at the time I might star in my own show, but I had to edit the video of the Philadelphia Fringe reading. We shot 2 different nights on 3 different cameras. So I had to sit there and watch myself play this role 6 different, 2-hour chunks. By the end of that, you really know whether you think you should play a role or not. And this is, I know Shy and I are complimenting each other, I suppose, quite a bit. But the thing Shy can do that I knew we needed, that I'm not as good at, is when Shy just sits there, you feel something. When the music doesn't have him singing, and we all know Spock dies, but we've been rehearsing that scene. And it's, it would be one thing for somebody to just sit there and writhe or
red alarm.
New follower, I'm guessing?
Yes. Sorry.
Right on. Thanks, new follower.
Yes. God forbid we turn that off during interviews or anything.
Either that or I need to...
Do apologize.
But, no, there's a certain kind of pathos that certain actors just have, where when they're doing nothing, there's still a presence there. And, I think I can do the voice pretty well, but I was like, there's somebody out there who can really nail the in-betweens and the white part of the script, as it is sometimes called.
I'm still devastated that Spock died. I didn't even
know he was sick. Sorry, I could have told you more gently. Yeah.
Several donations come in. We'll read your comments at the top of the hour. Time with Brent is kind of limited, but thank you, Ran Aaron, Dam, Best Efforts, Cranky, and the traditional massive donation from 7-6 Suited, who also always blows us past all of our donation goals up front. So thank you, everyone.
No, very good. We also have done a load of donation goals as well, which we will update at top of the hour. But Brent, you're previously known for your musical adaptations on video games on your YouTube channel. For anyone that hasn't seen that, go look up Brental Floss on YouTube. There's some absolutely amazing. I was checking you out today, and I was listening to some of the songs. I'm like, actually, this is awesome. What took you the leap from I'm just going to produce fun videos at home to going, I want to make something on Broadway?
Well, it's actually sort of a circle. I'll explain this way. So I was writing musicals in high school. I had a teacher that was very do what you want, and I did. And so I'd written a couple shows by the time I was in college. I wrote 2 more shows in college, and then I got the weirdest master's degree in life, which is the New York University Tisch School of the Arts does a graduate musical theater writing program, which is basically like Hogwarts. It is 20 or 30 people a year learning from musical theater writers who have, of note, learning how to write musical theater. And then after that, I started making YouTube videos that had a bit of a musical theater flair, but more leaning toward musical parody, and they caught on. And I actually had another off-Broadway show nobody heard of that definitely flopped in 2010. It lasted 3 weeks, but in the same month, I got my first check for the first album of my YouTube thing. So I basically went, if you're a musical theater writer, that's what you think your trade is, and the universe is telling you, here's a way to get paid for music and lyrics, you go, I will take this path. So really, Khan is kind of going all the way around the YouTube bush, all the way back around to, wait, wasn't I doing musical theater? So I feel like after I started to slowly burn out on YouTube after probably at that point 7 or so years, the seeds of wanting to do something on the stage started to grow. And right around that time, I was getting more and more into Trek. I had been into it for a while, but it just kind of, you know, I don't know if it's just because that's right around the time I started watching Deep Space Nine. I don't know what it does to a man, but no, it just suddenly hit me, and I was off to the races.
And it's pretty cool that your contribution to, and I'll just call it bluntly what it is, your contribution to nerd culture from even 14 years ago is still relevant. Like, you can go on a website, you can go on a message board, or just have, you know, a conversation online with somebody, and if you're talking about NES games or something, inevitably someone will bring up one of those songs or the lyrics. Just the other day, before we even found out that you were going to be coming on, I was walking around the house downstairs doing dishes, and I was singing the Mega Man song.
Oh, well, thank you.
And it just enters my head. So it's your contributions have been around and will continue to be around in these pockets of culture, and now hopefully with Con the Musical, that can even grow into a new subset.
I hope so. I hope so, because, you know, wanting to write a musical theater album that musical theater people are enjoying was kind of the original goal, and like the circuitous way back around, you know, hopefully the experience of YouTube has made me a better writer, specifically with doing parody of nerd stuff, that it will hit even better than YouTube did. I will say the main lesson of writing musical parodies for nerd culture is either don't mess up your lore, or have a damn good answer for why your lore doesn't match the lore that, you know, whoever's going to correct you thinks. Because Con is like the musical. There are so many things that aren't quite right, that are historically inaccurate. You know, Savick, for instance, the Kirstie Alley character in The Wrath of Khan. Here she's half Vulcan, but she's half ingenue, which is sort of an inside baseball, like, theater term for, like, the young blonde love interest. So she's got, like, almost the same kind of what am I trying to say? Identity crisis as Spock, but really exaggerated into a theatrical, like, melodrama character and a Vulcan. And I changed that because, frankly, the role of Savick is played by Kirstie Alley. You know, she doesn't feel like she'd probably sing from her heart in a way that would be especially satisfying. But if people go, "Why'd you do that?" I have to be able to say, well, in the shooting script and the novelization, she was half Romulan. You know, they go, "Oh, okay, good point." Like, you have to kind of, like, know why you did a thing, at least have a basis for it, even if you kind of just wanted to make it funnier. So that's what YouTube taught me.
I wanted to ask you one of those "why'd you do that" kind of questions. Because some of the casting has been sort of gender bending, or I guess race bending in Shy's case. You have a woman, Lindsay Newton, playing Bones and Scotty, and you have an Asian man, Shy, playing Kirk. So that's been a topic that's come up recently in Trek. You had Adrian Holmes as African American April in Strange New Worlds. You had Benedict Cumberbatch play Khan. Star Trek is almost 60 years old at this point, and there are a lot of, shall we say, traditionalists out there who either don't understand or don't like those kind of choices. So can you talk about why you believe you have the right people and the right roles for this musical?
Sure. So I will say, at my worst, I can be a little bit of that color inside the lines person. Like, when I first saw the Discovery Klingons, I was like, wait, what? I don't like this. This isn't right. Even though somebody who watched TOS might feel that way about the Klingons when they first saw them in the motion picture. You know, we kind of have to get used to stuff. But that's actually not the reason for the gender bending and the different, you know, skin colors in this show. Basically, there's a practical element, and there's also a Roddenberry element. The practical element is, it's not a great idea to do a musical that's all guys and lower voices, because you want it to be a larger, you know, harmonic palette. So that's, like, super practical. And there are more women in musical theater than men. So having 7 or 8 dudes get together that are all really talented is harder than 4 or 5. But when you broaden it out, I wanted to find a way to make a musical that took Roddenberry's dream of sort of a diverse future where we're post-prejudice and weave that into parody. And let's be honest, a lot of times people don't associate inclusivity and diversity with comedy. Some people, those feel like two different worlds. And it's like, how can I not make it feel like it's about doing this, but still not only make it diverse and inclusive, but also like make it easier to cast. So the premise has that baked in, and that was on purpose, where Data didn't get friends of his to play these roles, and he didn't use look-alike assets on the holodeck. He used like holographic actors. So it's almost like he's got this acting troupe of holograms that, you know, play different characters. The Chekhov and the Sulu actor are the same. The Bones and the Scotty character are the same, and they're sort of just this technological troupe that could be any skin color. Now, to be fair, you still want a Black Uhura and an Asian Sulu. Those are kind of, even in the script, I'm like, let's not mess with that. And we even kind of ran into a situation with Captain Terrell where I hadn't really thought through whether that was a big deal or not, because I thought, well, Terrell's not that iconic. But we cast a white actor as Spock doubling with Terrell. He was like, so you're wanting me to play a character who's black in the movie? And I was like, you know, if he's bringing this up, I think we just need to take a look at this and rethink it. Terrell's not even that big of a character in the movie. So this is a bit of a spoiler. We decided to create a new character in his place called Commander Redshirt. And it's a very nuanced joke, clearly. Very, very...
It's the subtlety.
Yes, well, that's exactly it. So subtle.
Of the New Hampshire red shirts. I get what you're...
Exactly. Yes. Anyway, but yeah, so you know, it allows us to once again have that role be easier to cast, but also more inclusive. And so that's kind of where we're at with that. And there are going to be some people that just don't like it, and there are different reasons they don't like it. But for me, it's like in this modern world of content creation, be it on stage, be it in the media, now that you have social media, any choice you make is going to get negative comments from somebody. So it's like you have to sort of pick before you even enter it. Who am I willing to piss off? And who am I not? And the people that are upset that Kirk's not white, they're like, you know, absolutely people that I'm just pleased as punch to piss off. As long as people that like that the show is diverse. You know, to me, it's like if somebody would have been the kind of person who wouldn't have liked Uhura being an officer back in the 60s, then I don't really care what they think about whether our holograms are the right skin color to match the original actors. So, hope that sort of explained that.
Well, your choice is going to be any worse than what they did in the finale of Enterprise in the holodeck. So this is already much better than that.
Though we don't have Jonathan Frakes narrating, sadly. But oh well, maybe one day.
Well, speaking of that, have you gotten any feedback from official Trek sources? And if you have, what has it been?
No, but you know, like the I think part of that is well, let me be clear. So there's copyright holders and there's actors. I'll start with this camp. We haven't been contacted by any copyright holders or any lawyers or anything. I started working with an IP lawyer. Funny story. I briefly worked at a co-working space in 2018 because I worked at home and I wanted to, you know, be around other people. And at lunch, this guy's like, "So what do you do?" And I go, I'm writing a Star Trek musical." And he goes, Wait. I'm an IP lawyer and a Trekkie. You need to be paying me right now. And I was like, go on. So basically, he shepherded me through like how to legally make sure that what you're doing is a parody. Anyone can sue anyone for anything. But if you have specifically made something a parody, not just like, you know, when Weird Al takes a song you've heard on the radio and reuses it, that's legally not parody. That's musical satire. But if you are making a comment on the original thing that you're lampooning and you're constantly commenting on that, that's parody. So I would like to think that we won't be contacted with any cease or desists. Occasionally, off-Broadway shows will hear from lawyers and they'll just be like, "Hey, please don't do this. Hey, please cut that." For instance, a friend of mine did the Big Bang Theory parody musical, and they were like, "You can't use Bazinga in your marketing material." So they were like, and they made it Basinga, which is a fairly clever way to get around that. So like maybe we'll have some of that, but we haven't yet. On the other end, I have been trying to be like a non-annoying, slightly squeaky wheel with certain Trek people. Like if they bring up the Wrath of Khan, maybe I reply to their tweet. And so far I've sent DMs that I got responses on to BB Newworth, who played one cameo on TNG. And we follow each other. She followed me because I did one funny tweet long ago. Great, I'll take it. And she just said, it sounds hilarious, which is a nice contentless thing to say. And then you've got Garrett Wang, which we can debate this. Shy, I think that you were pretty sure it was Garrett Wang.
No, I was not. Your friend said it was Wang. I said it was Wong. And I was like, don't Asian-splain to me. I know it's Wong.
Wow.
Yeah.
I must have had too many Romulan ales that night, because I remember it the exact opposite, but that often happens to me. Yay for psychiatric meds. Anyway, so Garrett Wang, as we've just decided.
Two Wongs don't make a white, so
that's correct. That's
no, it's Wang. I'm sorry. It's Wang. It's not Wong. It's Wang.
Okay, so this is the thing. So I think maybe
your friend said it was Wong, right?
And
I said it was
Wang. I've heard
Wang.
it pronounced Wong, but maybe the chat will tell us. I don't know. But
well, it could be that we're both mispronouncing it, and in reality, it's halfway.
Wong. So
yeah. My hypothesis is that it is Wang, but he got to the point as an actor where he went, what if I just pronounce it Wong to end all the jokes? But anyway, so with that being said, I did DM him. He also followed me for some reason. I think maybe sometimes people will just follow a verified user that replies to them. RIP, no longer a verified user. Anyway, he was like, I've always thought there should be a Star Trek musical. Maybe I'll check it out. Now, once again, kind of a polite, content-free answer. Great. And I'm sure some of y'all are familiar with Larry Nemeczek, who just is the guy that has all the Star Trek stories and the keeper of the stories. But I emailed him and he wrote back, oh yeah, I've heard some buzzings about that. Thanks for letting me know. Once again, I've gotten lovely, polite acknowledgments from a handful of people. But I think what's really going to get us attention and get Star Trek alums interested. Oh, wait, I have one more. I'm so excited to tell you. Bonnie Gordon, who you know, who is the voice of the ship's computer on Prodigy.
She's going to be on after you on the stream.
Next.
Awesome. Well, so yeah, Bonnie and I go back. Like her songwriting duo, the Library Bards, would be on bills with me when I was doing live shows as my YouTube character Brentalfloss. And so we'd known each other for a while. But she is the voice of the ship's computer on Star Trek Prodigy. She will be providing the one line of the ship's computer, like the TOS ship's computer, in the show as an Easter egg, which is very exciting to me. But yeah, so we'll see. But that sentence I was not letting myself finish is I think that once the reviews come out and once word of mouth starts spreading around, I think that's when, if it turns out that Trek alums or celebrity Trek fans get interested enough to actually come to the show, I think it's probably going to be after that. Because God knows they've heard enough. I'm writing a Star Trek musical. I'm sure you are, sweetie. Yeah. I'm sure you are. So we have to distinguish ourselves from that.
Take the cast and take everybody to Star Trek Las Vegas in August. At the convention, write it off as a business expense. Just stand in the lobby of the hotel and start doing numbers.
Oh, I've priced this out. Yeah, just write it off. $8,000 for one night. Just write it off. Yeah. No, the thing is, if we can afford that, Frank, 1,000%. And I can't wait for the day that we get to the point where a convention tie-in of some kind, even if it's just like, hey, we're doing a short cabaret of a couple of the songs. We've got 4 people here. This person's going to play Khan this time. Okay, now they're going to play this or that. But you're absolutely right, Frank. And I did want to do something like that at Star Trek Chicago.
Star Trek Long Island.
Oh, gosh. Well, I mean, funny story. I did, one of the turning points in the creation of the show was when I did Mars Con, which is a small, modest, Minnesota con, but it had a parody comedy filk kind of segment to the convention, and I just did a couple of songs that were drafts from the musical very early on, in the midst of my video game songs. And the Star Trek songs killed. And then after that set, I had like my 3 YouTube albums set out. And people would come up and they'd look at them and they'd flip them around. And like, I'm saying multiple people looked and they were like, where are the Star Trek songs? And I go, oh, that's not really an album yet. That's just, and they're like, okay, well, let us know. And they just like walked away, like totally uninterested in the stuff that was my career musically. They just wanted to buy the Star Trek music. And I was like, okay, there's something to this. But yes, Frank, I think that bigger and better convention appearances are in our future, I hope.
Oh, it will be. I have faith.
Well, Brent, thank you for coming on. Obviously, you've got things to do today. So, last question for those
Brent
of us...
is building our sets right now.
Yes, yes. For those of us that are international and really want to see our good friend Shy here in his production, like, is there a chance there'll be any clips or maybe a small video of one of the numbers come out so we can appreciate the fact that a New York flight is probably around the same cost to get you to Las Vegas as well?
So this is going to be a nuanced answer. There will be footage of, parts of the show, very small parts, on social media in a promotional way. Last night, we had some of our cast members sing Khan's first big number, which is called My Wrath, at an event called To Proudly Go, which is a drag show with a Star Trek theme, where people come on. Last night, we saw Moriarty, Janeway, and Seven of Nine do classic drag lip syncing to all manner of songs and to Star Trek dialogue. It was a hell of a thing. Anyway, we also had Rafi and Shy. Who was the... Was there a Star Trek tie-in to that first act, or was it just?
I think. Wait, who was the first act?
The one whose shoe came off. In any case,
I thought she was Raffi. Yeah.
Okay. In any case.
Oh, you're not caught up. You're not caught up on Picard. That's right.
Oh no, I know who. I did a fan cast of season 1, which is why I didn't watch season 2. But I hear 3 is good. Let's not debate about it. I can't wait to watch 3 at some point soon. But anyway,
you'll like 3.
That's what I hear. Well, the thing is that watching new Trek has become work, and I didn't want that. But when you're working on a Star Trek show, it's almost like to take in new Trek that is not just comfort food. Weirdly, is like, okay, once this show's off and running, I'm gonna finish Strange New Worlds. I'm gonna watch Picard. But wait, I think I was onto something and got entirely lost. Oh, yes. So you were saying, Sharky, about footage. There are obviously people, especially internet fans of my internet video content, who are like, hey, why aren't you doing a video of this? Why can't you make a video to show us all? The fact is, there's no video probably not for a long time, but were there to be a video that was good enough quality for us to want to show the world, and perhaps monetize, since, after working on the thing for 8 years, you kind of just don't want to give it away for free. It's contingent upon this first production doing really well. And frankly, off-Broadway shows don't often get a second chance. So when we talk to people that are like, I'm in Belgium, I can't see this, I go, well, if you want to see it, and you happen to have a friend near New York City, tell them to go, because in that small, vicarious way, it will be helping this move forward to the point where, the Diana musical was on Netflix. Maybe one day it's Khan the Musical on Hulu, Khan the Musical touring to your hometown. A double disc vinyl album, and it's playing at your community theater. That's the dream for me. But we don't get there till we get butts in seats for this first one. So fingers crossed there.
No, that's
and I will be playing Kirk in every single one of those productions.
Yes.
I'm gonna be like Topol in Fiddler on the Roof. I'm just gonna go from production to production.
I hope you're ready to learn Norwegian, Korean, and all the other languages we're probably gonna translate it to. Can't wait.
No, absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us and giving up some of your time, because I imagine you've got a busy work schedule today. As you said, you're building sets right now. So, no, thank you very much for joining us this time.
No problem. It was a lot of fun. Good luck with the raising money for a good cause. I hope that continues to go well. Thank you, everybody. Even though it's not my cause in particular, if you're watching, thank you for donating. Thank you for supporting. Thanks for watching me sit here and talk for a while. And fellas, I hope you have a good rest of the stream.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Brent.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks for
Good
coming
luck
on.
and prosper,
See you
y'all.
tomorrow.
See ya.